on a day in May. So we took the old car, drove it far away, stopped out where the trees stand quiet. Of how the world conspires to take our time away from this, working such long hours. I don't wanna live like I wanna build a new world for you. As the sun went down over cedar tops, and you scratched our name in the cooling rocks, you laid back on the side of me. Side said, this is all I need, and I felt all